Hey, what's up? This is Chosen, and in this video, we are gonna get the Void Legendary tier list desirability rankings updated because it's been a few months since we have visited this topic, and we've got some adjustments, maybe even a new champion in Jinro for the Shadowkin, and make sure that we get all of the Void Legendaries on there. We've also got some balance changes, champions like Venus and also Jingwan, so maybe have to move these champions around a little bit and just make sure I'm keeping these resources up to date. After that, we'll get to like the sets and start really getting these rankings current and with the landscape of Raid Shadow Legends. So that's what this one is going to be. Let's get into it. Alrighty, so let's just get right into the list and get it pulled up. I've got it down there a little bit just in case I want to pull up a champion and talk about some of their kit or something. But yeah, so we had to get Jinro added on this one, and then we had some balance changes to people like Constantine, and then we had some balance changes right here to Jingwan and also Venus. Now, probably not a whole lot of changes coming out in this. I guess first, since we've got a new one to add onto the board, let's dive in and talk about the Jinro right here. So, all right, as we're trying to place Jinro, the Stork, on here, we've got an A1 that's actually pretty solid. You get a 60% when booked chance of increasing the cooldown of one of the target's skills, and you can actually target that. It's not like a random by 2 turns at random. It's good for an A1, but the random part is a little bit rough. Obviously, you know, you're not going to be able to like have a double layer, like pick the target and then pick what skill. And then we've got the attack 1 enemy, 3-turn cooldown when booked. Stun for 2 turns is nice, and ignoring some of those things is also nice. But you know what makes Rotos so strong is you get kind of that similar effect, but instead of the stun, it hits super hard and blocks revive. And then on this one, we've got only this champion getting defense and counterattack, and it's a 4-turn cooldown instead of on a 3. So, but it does place for 3 turns. And the passive, you know, increase champion's defense each time they counterattack. Okay, when attacking, that is nice, converting the res to accuracy. And then the active effect, if I can. Let me pull this down for a little bit. At the end of the champion's turn, place a provoke for an increase. You know, so like, okay, we got some interesting stuff going on, but in terms of placing on the tier list, I was thinking kind of down here. I mean, Neathway still has the block revive. Uros can be really good for certain you know, Doom Tower scenarios, but probably somewhere in this tier. You know, I don't think Jinro is gonna quite have enough utility to bump up into the B tier or even the A or something. But if you disagree, let me know and I'll think about adjusting the rankings for sure. But then also, I did move Constantine like up here from the B tier, I think, and then I had to also pseudo move Vlad over just like a couple spots or so over to here because their tandem ability got a lot better with the permanent block revive. I can put this down and pull up the ability for you if I go over here and then. Boom, this passive is actually going to be getting changed and being buffed to, you know, you see where it's enemies killed of certain factions only going to get block revive when Vlad's on the team. Now it's just going to be all enemies killed when Vlad is on the same team. Then he has a passive ability to block revive, which is super cool. Kind of similar to like a Neathway. Requires a, I think he's a little bit better than a Neathway. So if you do want to use that tandem or something, I had to bump it up a little bit. It's not going to move them into like the top 10 or god tier or anything, but definitely needed to slide it up the board just a little bit. And then Jingwan is getting some really strong buffs and pretty significant changes. So I moved him up a little bit, pull the pen back up. I think Jingwan was like right here, and I moved him all the way through here and up into right there. Now, some of you might think I didn't move Jingwan up enough because he did definitely get some pretty significant changes. I didn't put him above Vlad just yet because of the tandem ability, working in tandem with another Void Legendary, but I could probably see maybe moving him up into this like Sir Nick tier or so. We'll have to kind of monitor and see how common he is in the arena and how effective he is in that role, because he is definitely getting some pretty significant changes and will be a lot better than what he was. A lot of you were leaving comments in my video kind of talking about how Jingwan is the worst legendary for a worst Void Legendary in the game, and I think now he is definitely going to lose that title and at least move up the board a little bit. Then Venus is going to be getting a change here to the A3, making the HP burn a lot more reliable. The booked up version will be 100% instead of 75. So, you know, does it really change where Venus ranks on here? I believe I had her here in the previous version. Like, does it slide her above Ethos? I mean, maybe, not really though. Ethos is still a really fun one to have for, you know, on your account for like farming Nightmare and just being a crazy damage dealer. I think maybe 2 years ago, Venus would be like up here or something. But there's a lot more champions that do the weaken and the defense break and all that. And Lydia's addition to the game kind of pseudo hurt Venus's value a little bit because Venus is so, Lydia is so incredible and kind of does the same thing in terms of the defense break and the weaken, but also brings a lot more utility in blocking cooldowns and increasing the speed and all that. Everything that Lydia is just like a ridiculous general utility champion. You're going to have Lydia in, you know, all sorts of Doom Tower teams and Hydra teams and stuff like that. Also blocks revive for tag team arena. So kind of like a souped up version of what Venus used to do, but Venus is still amazing, and her tandem with Cupidus is going to be a lot of fun for one of your Hydra teams or something. So we're going to leave Venus right in here in this tier, and I think that's probably about right for her. And as far as the top end, nothing really changed. I believe I moved Necrit over a couple. He's just so insane and so good in Classic Arena and Tag Team Arena for those defense teams, and just an amazing legendary in general. Krisk is getting a little bit more love now. I could almost slide him up a little bit, but that top tier is pretty reliably set there. And then I feel pretty good about the S tier. I believe I slid to an Eric over just a little bit because of how great she is in the Hydra and really beefing up those Hydra teams as you're trying to build them. And then A stayed mostly the same with the new addition here, but other than that, pretty much unchanged. And then in the B tier, we had the new addition right here, and mostly all right. And then the new Lego Genro being placed right there initially. So yeah, that kind of gets us up to date as far as my opinions on the Void Legendaries being laid out. It's really important to keep the Void Legendaries ranked because they are the most sought after champions in the game. They're the toughest to acquire because there is no like sacred Void Shard where you've got a higher chance to get them. So the Void Legendaries are insanely difficult to get, and wanted to do an updated list every few months or so to get the new ones on the board and also stay current with the state of the game. So in interest of keeping this as accurate as possible, definitely let me know what you think down below. I always really enjoy reading through the comments and seeing where you agree and where you disagree. Obviously, on any sort of tier list, you're going to have lots of agreements and disagreements, and I love reading through that and getting smarter about how I can rank these and be more accurate as we go along and redo things like this. So that is going to do it for me on this one, and I hope you enjoyed. Have a great rest of your day. Thanks for watching. Peace.